Alright, putting you on my car, starting it, warming it up. You like it muted? If you do, give me a smiley face. Car's on me. You're playing around. Well, which one is it? You like the noise or you like the quietness? Alright. Now, go ahead. Let's go. You can play around all you want. I like people who like to play. Unless we know you got a sense of humor. I know I do. You too. Bye. Jack 13. Lost you there for a second.
Services.com. Whether you need maintenance, repair, or a second opinion about replacing it, the technicians at Any Hour Services can help you keep your home comfortable all winter long. Call Any Hour Services or schedule online at anyhourservices.com. No one helps more homeowners than Any Hour Services.
Weber State is ranked Utah's #1 university for return on investment by Utah Foundation. With programs designed for career growth and recognized by U.S. News and World Report, it's time to take the next step. Visit Weber.edu today. Weber State, where your education works as hard as you do. Want to get ahead in life? At Weber State University, we offer affordable programs designed to help you move up in your career. Whether you're starting business or advancing your current skills, our degrees are tailored to get you where you want to go. With a focus on real-world experience and career readiness, we're here to support your journey every step of the way. It's time to invest in yourself and your future. Apply now at Weber.edu. Weber State, where education meets opportunity and your success begins. Weber State is ranked Utah Utah's #1 university for return on investment, Utah Foundation, with programs designed
Everybody strong on the group.
Statements and opinions by guests on Mysterious Radio are not to be considered as endorsed by sponsors or affiliate entities. Any rebroadcast, reproduction, or other use of this podcast without the express written consent of Mysterious Radio is strictly prohibited.
Morning.
Guacamole en pico de gallo.
Yeah.
Get ready for a night filled with conspiracies, strange places, paranormal, UFOs, legends, and myths from around the world. With your host, Stay Down, on Mysterious Radio.
Alright, thank you for joining me tonight. Thank you. This is Mysterious Radio. I'm your host, Stay Down,
Thank
and
you.
tonight my special guest is Ray Grover. He's written a book called A Night
Another
with
chat
UFOs,
time.
an incredible true story that is available for you in Amazon. He says this is a sensational true story of one person who has had more than 20 UFO sightings in a 45-year period of his life. This remarkable tale follows Ray no matter where he lived or with whom he says the UFOs follow. Ray says he's seen more than 75 total UFO ships of various designs. And if that wasn't enough, he says he also witnessed a UFO going into a wormhole, which we're going to talk about that in detail. In the book, Ray has drawings of all the UFOs that he says he's witnessed, along with the MUFON reports and the correlated investigative statements. And I start off by asking Ray, what is his sightings?
I was 18 years old, and it started back in 1975 when I was married to my first wife, and we were fishing, nighttime fishing, on a lake right out of Cumberland, Wisconsin, which is the central east side of Wisconsin. And a little bit about me: I grew up in St. Paul, Minnesota. I now reside in Phoenix, but I grew up in St. Paul, was born in 1956, and about 64, got 4 beautiful sisters and 1 funny older brother, and a typical Catholic family. We were actually a small Catholic family. There were 9 sisters, 10 right down from the church. So I grew up with a lot of Catholics and that kind of stuff. Enjoyed my life pretty much.
Growing up, were you already predisposed to UFO phenomena?
Well, no, I grew up to UFOs. I knew they probably existed. I was with everybody in front of a little 19-inch screen watching. But and that was on the road. And knew that it was something much more out there than watching.
Alright, now, go ahead and take us through that first time. This particular one happened to you at Pike Lake, correct?
Yeah.
Alright, so what happened
Yeah.
that night?
Well, there was a time that I started dating Roxanne Cleveland, and after a few months in fall of 1974, going into the spring, she said, you know, my mom and dad own a cabin, and I haven't been up there in years, and she said, why don't we go sometime? And the next weekend came along.
Thank you.
We were babysitting her young daughter, and I had this urge to go. We've got to go to this cabin and check it out. And it's, you know, about 110 miles east, northeast of St. Paul. It's an easy drive. We get up there, it was probably 8 or 9 o'clock at night, and I just had this feeling, we gotta go fishing. Normally we do daytime fishing, but I was, you know, just driven to get out there on the lake. So we get in my little teeny 14-foot boat and, you know, throw all the gear in there, and then we troll around the lake very slowly. You use a little electric motor, you know, on the back of the boat, and everybody throws their lines in, and then you troll around, and we were trolling around this beach, and Roxanne yells to me, Raymond, what's that? And she's pointing up above the tree line, and I look over, we all did, and there was this ball of flames rising up, and I thought it was rising up out of the forest, but it could have been rising up out of the, you know, the access road. It kind of sneaks through the forest there, and I thought it might have been, you know, one of those big Chinese lanterns. And I was like, all right, who's going to be lighting the Chinese lantern at 9 o'clock at night? Then I was like, well, maybe we had seen a hot air balloon that was filled up one day, you know, many months earlier, where a guy was doing it out of a field, a dead cornfield. And so I thought it might have been a hot air balloon, but I heard no noise, no sound, no nothing. And I was doing everything I could to not say the U word as in UFO. But then I said, Rocky, I think that's a UFO. And the minute I said that, the instant I said that, it stopped. And Roxy looks at me and she said, did that thing just hear us? And my heart started pounding out of my chest. And Roxanne started screaming, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's get out of here. We were terrified. It wouldn't have been so bad if it was passing overhead or if it would have just kept on going. But when it stopped after I said that, that really freaked me out. And I just pulled on that cord from the motor as fast as I could. I screamed for everybody to get their lines in quick. I didn't want them to wrap around the motor at the bottom and get stuck out there and you know, get abducted. That's what I was really afraid of. We're all going to get abducted out of this boat. So we finally made it to the shore. Basically, I slammed into the shore and we all jumped out. And we ran up the hill to the house, or to the cabin. Brian, the little kid, ran right to the back bedroom. And under the covers he stayed. I, on the other hand, was very inquisitive. I was thinking, you know, maybe I shouldn't be that terrified of this thing. So I had a couple of beers and I made my way down the hill and inched my way out to the end of the dock, looking everywhere. Again, I thought it was there. I thought it could have been above the cabin. I didn't know really what to think. And at that time, it was gone. And I was elated that it was gone, and I was bummed out at the same time.
Yeah.
I wanted to see really what this thing was.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I can't really blame you. I mean, because that's strange that it stopped as soon as you said that. So I would be thinking this, you know, the same thing. Like, did it just hear what I said? Now, did you have any subsequent sightings after that one at Pike Lake?
No other sightings at Pike Lake. And that's the other thing about having a life with UFOs. I'm sure your listeners are going to think I'm crazy. How can this guy have all these sightings? And I've had 20 up to this point. the last one being June of 2019. But the nice thing is most of the sightings come with witnesses. I've been married 3 times, and in 3 instances, plus my kids have seen it. In 3 instances, 2 of the wives have seen their own, that UFOs. So I have witnesses, primarily have witnesses with me while it happens.
Well, I don't think you're crazy. I do believe there are certain people that for some reason these objects are maybe attracted to them, or they just have an ability to see them all the time, or maybe you just notice them all the time. But I've had quite a few, and I don't know why it is now. I think maybe because I do this show and I talk about it so much, but I do notice a lot of strange things all the time, and sometimes I'm outside and I'm amazed how no one else sees it. Or unless I take them outside, many times I've had to bring my own son outside and be like, have you ever seen anything like that? And he's like, no, we have both witnessed some ridiculous stuff. It's just unreal, but I do believe people will notice more if they just look up, maybe not be in their phone so much, because there is some strange things happening, in our skies. So let's move on to another one. Well, before we move on, let me ask you something. Is Pipe Lake an area known for UFO sightings? Have you been keeping up with that at all?
No, the Pipe Lake nobody else that I know of witnessed that. I've never ever heard anybody else witnessing any other type of UFOs up there while I was going up there. I stopped going up there about 12, 13 years after that. Constructing, I got divorced, but nobody else saw it. And you're absolutely right. I have been standing in front of a 7-Eleven having a cigarette, and during the day on a very busy street at noon in Phoenix, and me and another guy are the only thing that sees the UFO. Nobody else did.
Yeah, that's just really strange. I don't know what it is. I just notice things I'm constantly now, since I've seen so much, in the past few years, I'm always looking up, seeing something weird or strange. But it never fails. No one else is ever around me to see it unless I go physically get them to go see it. No one else is already outside looking at the same thing, is what I'm saying.
Right.
Now, one thing I want to tell you about your book here, Ray, that I really love is you did take the time to do illustrations and take pictures of the areas where all your sightings occurred. So that was really good, because I love seeing the aerial view of Pipe Lake, and you have the arrows there and where everything occurred, and you have the little fireballs, or little red star you call it here, where you actually had that sighting. So that's very, very good. I commend you for that. One thing I do want to talk about is, and I know that you're not going to always be prepared, no one is, but have you gotten, and I'm looking through your book, but I don't see any, have you been able to get your own photographs of some of these objects?
No.
Okay.
No, and that's one of the problems. If it happens, every month, of course I'd have a Canon, draped around my neck. But since it's been happening, sometimes 10 years between sighting, 2 years, and you're just doing normal life, it's very difficult. And plus, the phone camera option didn't come in until way late, and there's half the sightings are at night, and the day sightings weren't during a time where I had a cell phone camera. Well, let me give you this one example of a sighting. And for your readers, I'll tell you, the book has a sighting of me in my backyard. You'll see that on the front of the book. And that sighting happened very early in the morning, but it was light enough to be able to see the UFO. But I didn't have my camera yet. And this UFO, and it was a flat black triangle, and it was heading my way. It was going to go directly overhead. And as I was staring at it with my binoculars, and I was looking really close to the tip of it, and I was seeing this red light on the underbelly, and just as it was coming my way, I said, oh my God, I forgot my cell phone, I'm going to run in and get it. I said that. It took a left turn, and another left turn, and it was gone. So they want me to see them, they want me to have witnesses. They haven't abducted me as far as I know. And on a side note, I'm not going to get hypnotized to find out if it happened or not. I'll leave that alone. But as far as I know, no, I haven't been abducted. They want me as kind of an ambassador, I guess.
Hey, party animals! Zoo Lights is back at
Damn, that's windy.
and there was a bell-shaped, dull, silver UFO, a single-sized craft. So I had that.
And what was it doing?
It was just about 150 feet above the 711. Yeah. And I was like, oh, this is cool. And I didn't have a strong feeling of being scared at. I had, just that one being looked at. Now, when that black triangle was coming my way, that thing was about 100 feet long from tip to base. And
so let's talk about that for a minute. Where were you living when that occurred?
That is in my current home, which is Phoenix, Arizona. We're near the Tempe-Phoenix border, and then I get this really strong feeling that something's staring at me, like there was 8, 9 pairs of eyes on me, and I was looking at binoculars, trying to figure out where is this at, and I moved the binoculars to the right, and my view went black, and I was like, what is this? And I dropped the binoculars down, and that's when I noticed this triangular craft coming my way.
Yeah, okay. So let me ask you this. Was that, do you know if that was the Phoenix Do you know if that was the Phoenix Lights sighting or no?
No,
It wasn't.
no,
Okay.
oh no. We missed that sighting. We were living over in Glendale, Arizona, in my other house when that sighting came over in 1997. And on a side note, you'll notice that all the pictures you see online are not the craft. Those pictures you see are actually flares that were dropped by the military in a V formation. The actual craft, nobody ever took a picture of. But there are illustrations that you'll see, delta-shaped, triangular-shaped craft that had, I think, 50 lights, huge lights on it. To give you an example of the size, Frances Barwood, was a constable woman for the city of Phoenix, and it flew over her car, and she stated that it was so large that if she took a newspaper and completely opened it up over her head, she could still see the back and the front of the UFO. It was that large.
Oh wow. Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah, some people think it was a mile wide.
Wow. That's unreal. Let me ask you something about the triangle UFO. And I know we're jumping back and forth here between that one and the 7-Eleven sighting, but the triangle UFO, it happened in your neighborhood. Did anyone else see it?
No.
No one else reported anything that you know of?
No, I keep on looking on all the sites to see if anybody's witnessed any of them. And of course, I had pretty much the dates and stuff because I filled out MUFON, the Mutual UFO Network. I would fill out their reports of the sightings to get an investigator out to see if anybody else has seen it and that kind of stuff.
And what happened with that? So what happened with that?
No, I was the only one who saw that.
Okay, but you reported it to MUFON. Did they send an investigator out there or no?
Yes, after about 3 days, they sent an investigator out, and we talked in length for about 45 minutes or so. They had no other, she did all the investigative the stuff on the sighting, called me back a couple of weeks later, nobody else saw that sighting. Again, during the day, 100 foot long. Now, I can estimate things fairly well. I was a Vietnam era veteran, and I was a fuel specialist, meaning I fueled up planes, helicopters, and that kind of stuff. And my job kind of narrowed to black projects. Back in 1974, I was responsible for fueling up spy planes like the U-2, Dragon Lady, the SR-71, the fastest, highest flying jet on the planet today, and Gerald Ford, Air Force One. They would fuel that up. So I know how big a helicopter is, and this was like a couple of helicopters tied together in length. And so that is easy 100 foot.
It's very interesting. A friend of mine was also in that field. I don't know what what do you call it? I don't know what not the designation. It's like, like 92 Alpha and stuff like that. I don't know what it was, but she dealt with field people.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's move on to another sighting here. Let's talk about the UFO over Grand Avenue. Do you remember that one?
Yeah. Oh, yes. Like it was yesterday.
Give us some details about that particular sighting.
I was between marriages and dating a couple of women at the same time. One of them...
Okay, right.
Yeah, well, playa, hello. So anyway, I was having fun, doing my thing. And this girl, I can call her that because she was, probably 18, 20 years younger than me. But she had 3 kids, and I asked her if she wanted to come over and go swim in the pool. I owned a manufactured home, and there's lots of them. retired people, you know, they're everywhere. And they're nice places. She said yes, so I went over and picked up the kids, and we were in the pool and enjoying a really hot 105-degree day. And her youngest son pointed, and he goes, "Ray, what's that?" And I look up, and a couple hundred yards away, it looked like a ball, a red yellow ball. So I said, "You know what, I've got a homemade pistol. Let's go over, and if you guys don't mind, then we'll get a close-up view of it." So it'll be a battle after the trailer out, and I got my man-made telescope set up on the other side of the street. I pointed at it, and I look at it, and I can't believe my eyes. It's a huge fireball, yellow, red fireball. And this is something that, you know, if you were to take a lighter and light a lighter, and if you keep it down, what happens to the flames? They go up, right? All the flames on this fireball, and I'm thinking about that this can't be. So I'm looking at this thing, and it's probably 50 to 75 feet wide. It's big, and I'm looking at it, and it starts to shake, and it disappears out of my view. I'm like, what is it? And I see it starts to move to the right, so I'm following it, and it flies right to the exact spot it did before. 30 seconds later, it starts vibrating. No sound, no markings, no nothing. Just boom, to the left it goes again. It did this for 45 minutes. You know, I know this is going to sound strange, but we're all getting bored. So what are we going to do? So Kelsey said, "Ray, I gotta go. My mom's coming home. She's got to babysit the kids, and I got to get to work or something." And I was, you know, incensed, but I understood and dropped her off and came back. And I was so mad that I forgot to look to see if the thing was still there. But anyway, that was exciting. And I don't know if that's the same fireball that was up in the on Pike Lake or not. They looked exactly the same though.
That is really wild. So the flames weren't behaving like you would think they were.
Right.
They were just
Turning up.
yeah.
Flames coming out of the bottom of it. You can see all these beautiful yellow and red flames coming out of the bottom and the sides of the top and all that, and they're all coming straight out. None of them turned up. So I was thinking, is this in a different dimension, or yeah, I still couldn't figure it out.
So,
I
go ahead.
looked for scientists in plate tectonics. They talk about, you know, fireballs or orbs that are, you know, around fault lines. This was, let me see, maybe 200 yards from a very deep intersection in Glendale, Arizona, and on a Saturday, and nobody else saw it but us. So,
Yeah, that's unreal.
who knows?
That is unreal. But that's wild that you said the flames stayed completely symmetrical around the ball. That is amazing. Okay, so let's move on to your Mississippi sighting. So why did you go to Mississippi? Were you living in Mississippi at one point or no? Oh, okay, Mississippi River. Okay, go ahead. All right. What happened?
I was divorced, and it was my reason to have the kid. And my older son, Tony, decided he'd rather play with his friends than that. And the person I was living with and not married to at that time, Christina, and I suggested to my younger son, Stephen, to go fishing. So we all, you know, pack up here again and go down to a town called Inlet Grove Heights, which is a suburb of St. Paul on the south side. And the river flows right through that town. So finally find this place that felt like I needed to go in there. It was a dead end, and I was like, I'm sure we can find the river through these bushes. So we're fighting through the bushes, and again, I go back to that, don't know if they're calling me or if I just have that gift of intuit where they are. But whatever it is, it's a strong feeling to get me to that location or wake me up in the middle of the night. And I'll talk about some things in a little while about that. So we're fighting through these bushes, and in Minnesota we have these things called sticker bushes. And what they are little bars and stickers that stick to your sock on animals. But anyway, we finally make it through, and this open shoreline, no traffic, no jet ski, no people, and I was happy to be across the river from the what we call the Santa factory. And what it is actually is a fuels processing, oil processing plant. I think Marathon owns it now. And at night they have all these flames and lights on top of big buildings and that kind of stuff. So it kind of looks like, Santa Factory, and we tell the kids that, this is where they make toys and stuff. So anyway, lo and behold, I'm right across the river from it, and it's not more than, 400, 500 yards away, and the river is right there. So everybody wanted to do catfish fishing, which means you get this really heavy sinker, you put a whole bunch of food on a triple hook, and you throw it way out in the middle, and it lands in the middle, down on the ground, in the middle of the river. And catfish, that's where they swim to get, I guess, in the most amount of current to get their catch.
Hey guys, it is Ryan. I'm not sure if you know this about me, but I'm a bit of a fun fanatic when I can. I like to work, but I like fun too. And now I can tell you about my favorite place to have fun, Chumba Casino. They have hundreds of social casino-style games to choose from, with new games released each week. You can play for free, and each day brings a new chance to collect daily bonuses. So join me in the fun. Sign up now, ChumbaCasino.com. Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply.
At Smith's, an annual Boost membership just got even better. Now you can choose from Disney Plus with ads, or ESPN Plus on us when you sign up. Plus, enjoy unlimited free delivery, double points, exclusive offers, and free items. Sign up for a Boost membership today. It's an easier way to save, including new streaming options to relax with, eat for your groceries. Smith's, fresh for everyone. Restrictions apply. See site for details. At Smith's, an annual Boost membership just got even better. Now you can choose from Disney Plus with ads, or ESPN Plus on us when you sign up. Plus, enjoy unlimited free delivery, double points, exclusive offers, and free items. Sign up for a Boost membership today. It's an easier way to save, including new streaming options to relax with, eat for your groceries. Smith's, fresh for everyone. Restrictions apply. See site for details.
Damn potholes. Fix it.
awe at what I'm seeing. That was my second sighting. My son was to my left about 20 feet down the shoreline, and the ex-wife now was another 20 feet. And I was still staring at those, and I said to myself, well, you know what, Ray, you got to get a witness. So as I'm staring at these two ships, I screamed to my son, Stephen, what are those up there? As I'm pointing to them. And he raised his head and he goes, oh my God, Dad, a UFO, 2 UFOs. And he's all elated. He's like, cool, man. What are they doing there? And we're talking back and forth as we're looking at the UFOs. I'm like, I don't know, son. They're beautiful, though. There's no cracks. There's no opening. There's no sound. There's no humming. No static electricity. Just 2 beautiful silver metallic ships, probably 75 feet, 100 feet in diameter each, just hovering there above us. And then I said, we need to tell Christina. So we both looked down the shoreline, and at the same time we said, hey, Christina, look up there. And I go, there's UFOs up there. And we go back to look, and they're gone. So I don't know if they disappeared or if they took off, but that was the end of the sighting after about 5 minutes of staring at them.
That's amazing there. That is.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah. So, and good for you for trying to get people that, other people to kind of verify what you're seeing each time, because you don't have a camera on you all the time. You can't possibly know, when it's going to happen. So,
right.
That's great that you do that.
I do want to add something here that I was a webmaster in the internet, and what that job was years ago was to create websites. So I would do the coding, I would do like I worked for Motorola, I was a webmaster for Motorola and Nabisco, and they would have me do all their worldwide content as well as any and all images. So all the images in the book are a collaboration between the witnesses and me creating all this in Photoshop. So it looks like a picture, but you're going to see, everybody who reads the book and sees the images are going to see exactly what I was a witness to and what my other witnesses also, when they see the pictures, they go, that's it, that's what I saw too. So it isn't an actual picture, but it's an actual image of the color, the size, everything.
And when people get the book, they also will be, I think, surprised and probably happy to be able to read each one of your MUFON reports as well. So you did put that in there. And like I said, the illustrations are great. I mean, they really are. Your book is great.
Okay.
I mean, it's real good. I'm pleasantly surprised by how well you put it together. The last sighting I want to talk about is, and I also want to know if you've had more of these, but you actually witnessed a wormhole or something like that happening. Now, was that in Phoenix, Arizona as well?
Yes. Yep. In my backyard again in Phoenix. Yep.
That's wild.
Oh, I guess the thing I want to say about the book is I have it in chronological order. My first sighting in 1975 to the last one in 2019. But I have them as major sightings in the first 8 chapters and minor sightings. And what I mean by major sightings is one where I've actually seen a ship where I can define its characteristics, like the bell-shaped UFO, the 2 saucer-shaped, the black triangular craft, the fireball UFOs. Those I can define the characteristics. The other kind of sighting is what I call minor sighting. And what those are star-like objects, meaning that if you were to take a look in your binoculars at a star, you see just a point of light. And I have had many of those where it might be going across the sky and it catches up with 2 more that are sitting there. Then they all take off together. Well, stars don't do that, satellites don't do that, or if the starlight object is going, it slows down, stops, and does a U-turn. Again, satellites don't do U-turn. Only UFOs do U-turn. And I had lots of those. And that was the last sighting that I write in the book in June or July 2019. So those I don't have images of, but I try to give you illustrations of where they went, how they went, what did they meet up with any of their buddies, you know, that kind of stuff, to try to make it as interesting as I can for you readers. So
Yeah, that's
on
great.
that, yeah, I call that the These Are Not Satellites chapter, because of course I checked all the satellite tracking sites. In a lot of instances, I did MUFON reports again to see if somebody else had a sighting on those minor sightings. So I just wanted to say that. But yeah, that UFO was stunning. I have a hard time trying to figure out which is my favorite sighting, but the triangular craft in the backyard was pretty good. The 27 UFO orbs in the backyard were real exciting. But the wormhole, the UFO going into a wormhole, that is the best sighting I've got. Yeah, definitely. So this is what was happening. It was around Thanksgiving. And forgive me if I forget the year. I'm really...
No, you're fine.
It's not great getting old. So I was outside again looking through my binoculars, maybe trying to pick up a UFO or so. And as I was looking over my house, and it was to the right a little bit, there's this really, really bright star. I don't know, have you ever heard of the star Sirius, which is near the Orion constellation? Okay, good. Sirius is the brightest star in our sky, and it comes out actually now, so you all can see it. When
I see it all the time.
Yeah, it's real bright, isn't it? Well, this was brighter than that, and I was thinking, wait a minute, this is not in the location where Sirius, the star, is. So I just kept on staring at it, and I kind of knew something was going to go on. So it starts moving, and I can see it kind of moving towards me, but kind of curving to the left. And I'm like, this is interesting. So I keep following it in the binoculars. And as I'm panning to the left, I start to see a reflective light in my left side of my binoculars. And I'm like, what is that light that's coming in? Because I thought, could this be the moon? But that thought left my mind because the moon's not out. Wasn't out at that time of the month. So I dropped the binoculars down and I look up and I see a round blue object. And I'm like, I gotta see this thing close up. So I pick the binoculars up, I get it in focus, and what I see is a cone or a funnel with its nice bright blue light bubbles, like soap bubbles, that are coming up. I could see it coming up the wall of the funnel, and when it got to the surface, it would pop out of existence. And all these bubbles were coming up out of the center, deep down inside, coming to the top and just popping. And I'm like, wait a minute here. And I look to the left, right behind the funnel, and I can see stars. But yet I can see down in a funnel, like it's a tear in space-time. And I'm amazed. Right then, I knew this is a wormhole. This is what Einstein talked about. There's a tear in space-time. And what a wormhole is a theoretical tear in space-time that allows a ship or craft or whatever to go from our side of the universe to some other side of the universe. So it could go in there and it could travel many miles away in just a very short time. So I go back and I put the binoculars back, and I see the ship, and I go over to the wormhole, and I go back and forth, back and forth. And all of a sudden, the star-like object goes right in the center of this wormhole, and it closes down from the outer edge of the circle funnel to the center, like a second and a half to 2 seconds. Cut, gone. All the stars were just back up in front of my eyes again. So it was a wormhole, and it was a UFO going into a wormhole. Right above my house in Phoenix.
Wow, that is unreal. That is unreal.
Yeah, craziest thing. That's why I call it my most favorite sighting. It's just nobody, I don't think anybody else on Earth has ever seen a ship go into a wormhole, have they?
Maybe, possibly. It's possible. People are seeing a lot of things, but I've never heard an actual first-hand account of anyone seeing a ship
And I
going
was
to a wormhole.
screaming to my mother-in-law, screaming to my wife, anybody, please get out here and take a look at this. And the wife screamed, I can't come out now, honey. I'm cooking dinner. I'll come and see your UFO later. And I'm like, oh. Because I thought, I've seen so many that it's just like, okay, where's that UFO?
That's funny. Well, you tried.
Yeah.
You tried.
Yeah.
And that was a great sighting, too. That was a great one for someone else to actually get in on.
Yeah.
This is amazing, man. I mean, I do believe that there are people such as yourself that are just privy to these weird and strange objects that we know are up there. And I think more people will notice it really if they will just put their phone down, look up sometime, not just glance up. I mean, you got to stare up there for a minute. You look and you'll see some stuff.
Right.
Most definitely.
Right.
But your book is very good. It's very well put together, and I think people will love reading these stories. It's called A Life with UFOs, an incredible story. This is available on Amazon. My special guest tonight, Ray Grochin. Ray, please take a moment to tell my listeners where they can find out more information about you or anything else you're working on.
If you're interested in the book, which I sincerely hope you are, you can go over to my website, raygrochin.com or alifewithufos.com. In either case, I sell the book through there. What it does is it does link back to Amazon, but it'll go right to the book, and I have the ebook up there if you like to read it through the Kindle Reader, or you can buy the paperback, 168 pages. It's a pretty easy read, but the pictures will astound you. You will love seeing all these different types of UFOs I've seen, and it is in color. So I just want to tell you that.
Very good. Ray, many blessings to you, and I really appreciate your time.
Oh, it was my pleasure, and thank you for inviting me on your show.
All right, I want to thank my special guest, Ray Grochin, for joining me again. His book is called A Life with UFOs, an incredible true story, and that is available on Amazon in paperback and also Kindle. If you have a friend or a colleague that will enjoy listening to Mysterious Radio, we would greatly appreciate sharing the show with them. I want to thank my producer tonight, Kim, and the Mysterious Radio team. And I want to leave you with some words of encouragement, and I want you to repeat after me. I am well loved
Come help me.
and well respected. I want you to stay safe and stay healthy, and I will see you next time on Mysterious Radio.
Look. This is where I say goodbye.
Get more Mysterious Radio on our website.
Goodbye.
And don't forget to visit our Twitter and Facebook.
See you later. Till next time. Just hoping someone would come help me. See you later.